Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Whitney and I'm a fragrance and flavor enthusiast. Here on my channel, we mostly explore fragrances, but I sometimes like to throw in other content here and there just for fun. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has viewed, liked, commented, shared, and subscribed. So today I thought I would share with you guys the top gender neutral scents that I have in my collection. So I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I don't think that fragrances are necessarily limited to one specific group in terms of how something smells. I feel like anyone can wear whatever they want and that's on that. But I do have scents in my collection that I feel like are scents that I feel I wouldn't even think twice if someone way more masculine than me were to wear them. Let's put it that way. So I have 4 perfumes to share with you as well as 4 fragrance mists. So if you're interested to see what my picks are, let's get into it. So first up, I have a fragrance that is advertised as a gender neutral scent, and this may be one that's like, it could be probably, I don't know. This is all just my guess, but I feel like this may be one that is, at least in current times, may be considered like a quintessential gender neutral scent just because of like the branding and all that stuff. Can you guess what it is? You might. It's You from Glossier. So this is a scent that I got this year. I wanted it for longer, but I did get my hands on it this year, which I'm so happy about because I do really appreciate the scent. So to me, this is one that smells like accords, in the sense of it not smelling like any particular note, but smelling like vibes. So what I mean is this is something that smells quite powdery, musky, and woody, but it also has like an aroma chemical kind of note. So when I think of aroma chemicals, I think of notes like ambroxan, and mostly ambroxan. Isoe Super is another one, and Cedalox is another one as well. And it just has that vibe in it, which I think not only helps it with its longevity, but also its ability to project. Now this is one that I feel like has like a clean kind of smell to it as well. Not like it's soapy or anything, and not like it's like super laundry-esque, but it does have like a clean smelling vibe to it. And it does smell quite neutral, to be honest. Like it doesn't really lean too far in any direction, in my opinion, but that does not necessarily make this a boring scent to me at all. And what I do appreciate about this is, even though all fragrances adjust based on the wearer, I feel like because of the nature of this scent, it's what it transforms to on different people seems to be a lot more obvious. I've smelled it on different relatives of mine, and it was so interesting to pick up on different notes more depending on who it was being worn by, which is pretty cool to me. But yeah, so I'm happy to have this. This is one that I reach for when I don't want to smell perfumey, but I do want to smell nice, and I do want people to be able to smell me, and I do like that about this. So yeah, and this is also, I was gonna say, this is woodiness in a fragrance that is more my style, where it's not super woody and it has like that powderiness, which I feel like helps balance it out. But yeah, I like it. So next up, I have a fragrance that is one that is an aroma chemical, essentially. So based on Fragrantica, there's only one note listed, and that is Cedalox. And the scent I'm talking about is Juliette Has A Gun's Not A Perfume Superdose. Now, I did smell the original, which is called Not A Perfume, and I liked it, but when I smelled Superdose, I felt like it was more my style because it was louder. So Not A Perfume it's musky and it is pleasant, but what I like about Superdose is that it's a lot more intense, and I like that. So to me, this is a clean smelling scent. Again, not necessarily soapy, but it just has like a clean vibe to it, and it does kind of have like a sort of skin-esque vibe to it. Now, based on my understanding, the Cedalox note is, I guess you could say, if not inspired by ambergris, or maybe, I guess is the right way to put it, but there's like an ambery salty, woody, musky, animalic quality to this that seems like a lot, but it doesn't smell like crazy. It's just an explosion of like, it's like super clean, but not like super soapy or super laundry-esque. And this is loud. I had this travel size for a year and I've used it regularly. I find that I don't need a lot of it for it to do its job, which is whenever I want to smell clean and fresh. And I've seen it described as elegant as well, and I have to agree. There's a certain elegance about this that was new to me when I first smelled it. And there's like an effortlessness about this as well that I do really like. But like I said, I do not have to go heavy-handed with this. I can literally get away with one spray. And for me, if I'm able to smell a fragrance with just one spray throughout the day, that's a win for me, honestly. And that's what this does for me. So I like that about this. And yeah, I feel like anyone would be able to pull this off with ease, because it's not like, because it doesn't, it's more of like that accord type of thing where instead of it smelling like super floral or anything like that, which it does not smell floral at all to me, but I guess just to give you an example, this is like, it just smells clean, and clean is not necessarily a note. You get what I mean? But yeah, I do really like this. And just smelling it now, it's like, it's probably time to start wearing it again. I can't remember. I feel like I did wear it in the summer, and it kind of transforms based on the season I wear it in. But I feel like it's time to pick this one back up again. I don't think I really pulled for this much in the spring, but now that the summer's here and I do like smelling like clean in the summer, I'm going to be using this one. So next up, I have a cologne that comes from the house of Jo Malone London. And based on just my understanding of that whole brand in general, they're pretty much gender neutral scents. I don't think there's anything really about them. Maybe some scents could be considered more feminine, I suppose, but for the most part, it feels like very much anyone can use them, and they're quite good for layering as well, just because of the nature of the notes that are in a lot of the fragrances that come from that house. But the one that I have that I want to share today is Wood Sage and Sea Salt. And this is one that I feel like was the first gender neutral scent that I smelled that I was so shocked by me liking it so much, because when I first smelled it 2 years ago, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I found that so strange, because not only was it a woody scent, but it was also not sweet at all. And at the time, I was just very much into sweet smelling scents, and I couldn't picture myself, well, at least up until that point, I hadn't envisioned myself being someone who could pull off non-sweet scents. And I hadn't really smelled anything up until that point that wasn't sweet, but I actually liked it. But this was the first one that I recall having that effect on me. And this is one that I feel like it has like a citrusy, but not super citrusy, woodiness to it. And that salty quality is what makes it smell quite different. And to me, this is one that whenever I think of this scent, I think of a very coastal environment. When I first smelled this, the first thing I thought of was like yachting. I really do like this. This is something that I would wear when doing something a little bit more elevated, but not like something elevated, but effortless on my part. Like, I don't have to do much, but there may be a lot of things happening around me to make sure that my experience is fabulous. But yeah, I really do like this scent, and I'm so glad to have it in my collection now, because boy, I was holding on to that sample I had for dear life. And I have an oil impression of this scent that I had for a while, but it just was not cutting it. There's something about being able to spray a fragrance on that I feel like helps me feel more enveloped in a scent when that's the vibe I'm going for. So I am definitely appreciative of having this in my collection now. And again, I feel like this is just one that for me, as someone who at the time couldn't imagine not smelling pretty or sweet and enjoying this, I think says a lot about this scent. So yes. So last up for the perfumes that I have in my collection that I feel are gender neutral is one that may be a surprise. I'm not entirely sure, but it's Ariana Grande's Cloud. Now this is one that is advertised as a women's scent, right? But a women's scent, a scent for women. But when I first smelled this, I was mesmerized. Just honestly, I was mesmerized because it had like a cologne-y vibe to me, but I couldn't understand why I was so addicted to it, and I couldn't understand why I liked it so much. And I hadn't heard anyone describe it as cologne-y. And when I say cologne-y, I do mean like something that men could wear. And I was just so shocked at how it smelled, because to me, this is not necessarily a super sweet scent. And I know people have described it that way, but to me, this is an airy, aromatic scent. And again, aromatic scents are not necessarily my thing either, but for some reason, this one just does it for me. And this is one that I could easily see on anyone and it working very well. Like I wouldn't think like a guy wearing this would smell like girly or anything like that. And I wouldn't think a woman wearing this would smell masculine. I just feel like it just smells good. And I feel like it smells a lot more expensive than it actually is. So that's a plus as well. So yeah, that's Ariana Grande's Cloud. So now we're moving into the fragrance mists from Bath Body Works that I have that I feel like are the top gender neutral scents in my collection. I have quite a few actually that I feel like are scents that I feel like anyone can pull off, right? But these are the top 4 that were like, I automatically knew that they needed to be included in this video. So first up, we have what may be considered an obvious choice, but that is Love Always Wins, which is part of their Current Pride collection, and it's in the scent Rainbow Waves. So this is one that has sangria, melon, and a misty waters note. So to me, this is one that has like a subtle fruity sweetness to it, but it smells aquatic. But to me, I also pick up like a peppery, rosy quality about it too, that I do really like. And I feel like, again, it has that vibe of like, even though I could describe this as smelling on the verge of being cologne-y, it's not too much, like it doesn't lean too far in that direction where I feel like it would smell weird on me. But I do really like this scent. I feel like it's one that not only do I feel like it's a gender neutral scent, but I feel like it's kind of neutral in quality, where I feel like it's not really doing too much, but I wouldn't describe it as boring. It has enough interesting qualities about it that help it not smell like bland, even though it's not like over the top or anything like that. But I do really like this. And I do feel like I did wear this to the gym, and I'll be honest, when I did wear it, I was like, I wonder if this smells a bit too masculine for me. But then I was like, it's already on and I need to go. But I do really like how it smells. I do. And I think this is one that works pretty well in warm weather. I've worn it a couple times and I do like how it smells. So yeah, that's why it's on this list. So next up, I have a scent that comes from Bath Body Works Christmas releases from 2021. And the scent is Sleigh Rides and Snuggles. Now this may not be an obvious choice, but to be honest, this just really does smell like a scent that anyone could pull off. And I think part of that has to do with that balsam note. Now it lists snow-kissed icicles, fluffy balsam, and vanilla bourbon in here. And I feel like with that vanilla bourbon note, that also adds a bit more of an edge to this scent. But I will say it's kind of like fruity / candy-esque to me, because it's sweet, but it's not like too sweet, but it's sweet and leaning on that almost piney kind of scent profile, which I do actually really like. And I feel like notes like balsam and then the bourbon vanilla are notes that can be easily found in fragrances geared towards men. And I feel like that's part of why I feel like this scent resonates as a gender neutral scent to me, because of those particular notes. But I do really like how this smells, and it is quite strong as well. I don't have to go too crazy with this one. I don't know if I would wear this in the summer months or just warmer weather in general. But I mean, it wouldn't hurt to try this summer because I have it. But yeah, so that's Sleigh Rides and Snuggles. So next up, I have a mist that honestly, I was almost debating whether or not this was too masculine for me. And I've played around with the scent a bit more, and it didn't take that long for me to warm up to the scent and realize that it's not necessarily a too masculine thing. I think it's more of a very neutral thing. So the scent I'm talking about is Ivory Cashmere. So this one features fresh lakeside air, silver musk, and white amber. And I think it's the amber in here that scared me a tiny bit. And I am a fan of musky scents, but sometimes amber has a way of putting me off. But I do really like how this smells. Now, I will say that this is one that I feel like, because again, it's not super sweet. Actually, I don't really think this is sweet at all. It kind of has that scent profile where it smells like accords. So there's that, I guess you can say, ozonic quality about it with the air note, and then the muskiness, and then the ambery quality in here that makes it, to me, an easy choice for anyone to be able to pull off. Of course, if you like this kind of scent. But yeah, it's quite nice. And it does, again, have like a more luxurious than it actually is kind of vibe to it, which I do like. Now, it's one that's kind of like at least it's intended to be like a cozy kind of scent. And I do get that. It's not the softest smelling scent. And I feel like this is one that could get annoying if I've put too much of it on, especially because it is the kind of scent profile that I have had my ups and downs with. So wearing too much of it, it's just like, no, you're done. You're done. But when I'm like strategic with it, it is an enjoyable experience. But again, I do feel like this is one that anyone would be able to pull off, especially if you're into the kind of notes and accords I described. So last up, I have a fragrance mist that was another scent that when I first smelled it, I was just captivated, maybe even a little confused because it was so unexpected. I wasn't expecting this kind of scent from Bath Body Works. And the scent I'm talking about is In the Stars. So this is one that, again, has that cologne-y vibe, and I just was not expecting it when I first smelled the scent. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect. I had seen people compare it to like Baccarat Rouge and even Ariana Grande's Cloud, but I don't think this smells like either of those scents, but I do get the comparisons because it, to me, has that like airy cologne-y vibe to it that I feel I pick up on both of those other scents. So the notes in here are starflower, sandalwood, musk, sugared tangelo, white agar wood, which is oud, and radiant amber. So with those deeper notes, I feel like that's what helps it not be too like whimsical, and I feel like that helps create quite a nice balance. And this is another scent that I have to be strategic with because wearing it too heavy-handedly as well as too close to my nose is like irritating and kind of annoying, to be honest. But it is like a classy, lightly oudy scent that I feel is quite wearable, but leaning more on the not everyday kind of scent. Now, of course, this would be an everyday scent for someone else, but for me, like I said, it's too much of it can get kind of annoying to me. But I feel like this is one that's not like overly sweet or anything that would make it, like if I were to smell this on a man, first of all, I wouldn't think they were wearing Bath Body Works, first of all. And I wouldn't think they smelled like they were wearing like a women's fragrance, because of the quality about it that makes it smell like not only a lot more pricey than it actually is, but also the deeper notes. But then again, I could also see this being worn by someone who's even more feminine than me. So I feel like this is just one that smells quite luxurious, but strong, but it's quite nice. And it also feels like a little bit complex, and I like that about this. But yeah, I'm glad to have it. I'm telling you, when I first smelled this, I was like, what the? Because not in a bad way, but in a, I am actually shocked. This smells really good, and it is also quite addictive as well, but not addictive to the point where I feel like good about spraying it too close to my face, but everywhere else, good times. So that is all that I have to share with you today. Let me know if you have any of these that I shared with you, and also what your top gender neutral scents in your collection are. I am curious. So if you liked today's video, please give this video a like, and if you're not already subscribed, I hope you do. And if you do want to support my channel even more, please feel free to buy me a bubble tea. All that information is down below in the description box. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you later. Bye. Well, I have 4 perfumes, and I have Also, insert witty comment here. Let me start over. Maybe I shouldn't have them on my lap because these are clinkety clankety. Clinkety clankety. Am I sitting up? Oh, almost slipped while sitting. It only features one note, and that note is, am I saying it right? Let's look up how to say it. It's either Cetalox, Cetalox, Chatalox, Catalox. Let's see. No! Is it raining? Yes, it is. So last up, well, let me sit up first. Adios, muchachos y muchachas.